Hello, everybody. It is I, Pedro Morales, aka the Wigman Next Mercury, and today I am bringing to you part 4 of every UCT stable ranked from worst to best. So I'm just gonna get straight to it. No announcement here. So let's get underway. So number 61, we have the Wolfpack. Not Wolfpack, but the Wolfpack. There's an actual difference here. So this trio is made up of Johnny Extreme, Sean Avery, and Regicide, aka Demon Spike. So this trio is kind of just made up of good old buddies wanting to kick ass, which is fine, you know. They were in GYW and then PWF. Most people will know their PWF incarnation because all GYW videos have been deleted, so you can't really see any of their time together, which is a shame because that's when they had their most success, with Sean Avery becoming GYW champion and then Johnny and Richside being tag champions. But in PWF they still did pretty well, you know. They challenged for the trios titles, challenged for the tag titles, you know. All of them have had success in the company, whether it be together, you know, during their time together. But the reason they're not that high is because it's another case of Cause who do way better separately than together. You know, they're just kind of being together for the sake of, hey, let's hang out, let's beat the crap out of some guys that we all don't like. And then when we're done with that, we'll go back to doing what the hell we were doing. So that's about it. Not much to talk about when it comes to the Wolfpack, because it's not much. Then number 60, we have the Faces of Fear. So I think there was a stable of this in WCW, unless I'm confused. Was it the Three Faces of Fear? I don't remember. But for this Faces of Fear, we have AJ Carter, Benjamin Sullivan, and the Caretaker. So this stable was mainly in XWP. I believe they were in ECCW at one point. I think maybe they still are. I don't know. But their most known incarnation was in XWP. This stable is very underrated in my book, to be honest. I feel like they weren't given as much attention to compared to other stables in XWP, and they could have done much more, you know. Like just recently, before XWP went on their hiatus, they kind of started getting traction, especially for AJ Carter, who was feuding with Mr. Macho for the Cruiserweight belt. And I feel like maybe down the line he would have won the belt, but you know, hiatus happened, and then since then XWP has come back, but all three of them have been released, which is a shame. But yeah, this stable is very underrated. I think one of the highlights is also their feud with Wolfpack, not the Wolfpack, which we just covered, but we'll get to that other Wolfpack eventually. But yeah, that feud over the 6-man tag titles, I feel like was probably their best work, which happened during like season 3 of XWP, which is like 2019. Go check that out. But yeah, I feel like this stable is very underrated, very kind of underutilized. I mean, there was also the Caretaker Undertaker feud, but I don't think anybody wants to talk about that, not including me. So we're gonna move on. So number 59, this time we have a very important stable, and that's Team Blackout. So Team Blackout, for any YWE fan knows, is Mr. Black, Phenom, and Rocker. So this stable existed back in the annals of history in 2008, when they were, well, before they had gone on to have their very successful careers. It was Mr. Black, followed by his two kind of henchmen, Phenom and Rocker, whose purpose was to help keep Mr. Black as world champion. Their time together sadly cannot be viewed besides their breakup, since they existed. I think they formed like after YW SummerSlam, and then they broke up at YW Cyber Sunday, which is the first YW pay-per-view to still be on YouTube. But yeah, I think the reason I'm putting Team Blackout this high at 59, at this point we're nearing halfway, is just because of the post-stable life that all three of them had. You know, Mr. Black ended up becoming, I think, a 14-time world champion and all. You know, this was the start of him just being that lone wolf badass. Then you had Phenom and Rocker, who after this ended up having their great hardcore title feud. And then after that, each of them would end up having good success in the mid-card before eventually becoming world champion. So I think, yeah, just because of the foundation this group laid for their individual careers is why they're this high on the list. And I have no regrets about it. So number 58, we have RFT, which I believe stands for Ruck Fools Team. I believe so. So this stable was short-lived, but was a stable in EWE, formed by Doggy Dog, Mario, AJ Reyes, and Arrow. So this stable kind of personified what the Elite is today in AEW, where it's just a bunch of friends who just want to dick around, just having fun, being at the top of the card and winning. The only thing in this case is it's the same thing minus the winning part. So you had Doggy Dog, who was the EWE champion, in which, well, to be honest, that's the whole reason why they formed. The RFT, they formed at the main event at the end of EW SummerSlam Season 3, where they helped Doggy Dog cash in on Mart War for the EWE title. And during the rest of this group's time together, Doggy was EW champion, managed to stay champion the whole time while feuding with Mart War and Phenom. Meanwhile, the other members, you had Mario, who was US champion, did pretty good for himself till losing the belt at Hell in a Cell. And then you had Arrow and AJ, who were just there, just losing kind of every match they had, but putting on great performances, which honestly is the reason why they're this high. Despite losing, they had great matches. And to be honest, I think the greatest match of RFT was that Survivor Series Season 3, when it was AJ, Arrow, and Mario taking on Swed and Triple X in a traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match that I ended up rating 5 stars. And it is still on my channel. So basically a lot of VW's videos were deleted, but this match is saved on my channel, luckily. So anybody can go view it. Just go to my channel later. You can watch that amazing match where RFT, spoilers, lost, but it was still an amazing match either way. But yeah, after Survivor Series, they all broke up and kind of went their own separate ways, and the existence didn't really matter in the long run. But to be honest, that match alone, and that Survivor Series match, and having been together longer than Team Blackout is why they're this high. Next on the list, we have a lesser known stable. We have the Picars. I'm probably saying it wrong because it's not in the right language it's in, I bet. Yeah, but the Picars was a group formed by Carlette and Ho, I think that's how I say the name, Santen, and then Francisco Uasta. I think that's how I'm supposed to say it. But yeah, this was a nice heel stable. They didn't really have like any major feuds like as a group. It was mainly just Carlette and Ho and whatever storyline he was in, and then you had Santen and Uasta as kind of like supporting players who would kind of interfere and help him out. Yeah, it was kind of fun to watch. It was just, it wasn't that big of a group, but not too low that that 57 is a good place for them, to be honest. But like I said, most of the highlights was whatever Carlette and Ho was doing. So the major highlights of this stable was when Carlette and Ho was SWE champion, feuding with the likes of like Shadow and Rocker, and you had Santen and Uasta helping him out a couple times, and it was a fun watch, and they were still together, and they were together for the entirety of SWE's run, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it. So moving on, we have 56, and it's gonna be like another stable name that I'm probably gonna mispronounce, but you have El Secueto. And this group is a trio of brothers formed of James, Joseph, and Jeff Emerald. The stable is in ACW, where they are currently at the peak of their careers right now, because you have the leader, James Emerald, who is ACW champion, and then you have the other two, Jeff and Joseph, who are tag team champions. Their last appearance was the main event of ACW SummerSlam, where they defeated Chris Azure and Austin and Cody Scarlett in a basically a tornado tag, 6-man tag match for all the titles, and they won. So that's amazing, right? They're doing fantastic. But why are they at 56? And the reason why they're at 56 is because I feel like they kind of peaked. Because where do they go from here? Like, they've already, not only have they won all the gold, they've already had main event victories. They're already treated as a top force to be reckoned with. But where do we go? Where do we go from here? They haven't existed long enough to be like up in the upper echelons of this list. So what happens? I think the answer, for me at least, is just, to keep staying at the top and just have more appearances, because ACW SummerSlam was like early 2021, so that alone, and just not having that much appearances and short shelf life, is the reason why they're at 56. That's about it. Okay, so for this next one, I'm gonna drink a little bit of water because I'm gonna go on a long tangent about this one. Okay, here we go. So for the last one on this list, number 55, Corporation X. Corporation X. So, a little backstory for this entry. When compiling this list, as you all know, there are 82 on this list, and there was a lot of up and downs. I had some tables would move up two ranks one day, and then I'd move some down. But this table right here, Corporation X, was the one who had the most up movement out of all of them. Like, they started like in the 70s, but every time I kept thinking about this stable and the more I kept researching, I was like, okay, this stable was way better than I thought. And they're up here at 55 when they were probably at 75 when I first made this list. But here's Corporation X. You had, let me look at my list, my notes, because their names are kind of weird. You had Bison, not the same Bison from WCA, different Bison. You had Bison, X-Ray, and then BH3 Tiers. Yeah, this is a very edgy stable. You had a lot of guys wearing mohawks. You had skull faces, a lot of skull, face paint. Just very edgy, but not too Dark Lord and over the top. And the reason they're this high is because they're one and only feud with the Franchise Nation, which is Mario Sanchez and Alex Richards, the franchise player. So I think the reason I just put this one this high is because it had a start to end complete feud that helped put over everybody, or at least the winners, and put over Corporation X in my eyes. I think that alone is just enough to warrant their placement. I'm not going to spoil how it goes. I think maybe I just did, but either way, it started off with a 6-man tag match where Corporation X defeated the Franchise Nation and Harry Pewter at the Bash. And then after this, they had a series of singles matches that Corporation X lost. And then this all resulted in this Hell in a Cell tag match where, well, I guess I won't spoil the ending. You can go watch it yourselves. I think it's still up on YouTube. But yeah, you can go watch that right now. Actually, I'll spoil it right here. You might want to skip to maybe 5 seconds after this. But yeah, Mario and Alex won. But this was an amazing match. And honestly, yeah, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this table to be this high, to be honest with you. But it surprised me, honestly. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I went pretty fast with a lot of these stables because I kind of want to just mash record a lot of these parts, and I like this. I'm having fun. Hope all of you watching are having fun listening to these videos. But yeah, thank you for watching. Leave some feedback in the comments below. I will probably be recording the next part after this, and I'll see you then. Bye.